Well, hello, you're watching GMODISM, this is your host Eric, and we are back with a little showcase video. Missiles has happened. As you probably know, the season 2 of the AOG trials gave us some missiles. Well, that's thanks to Kevin. But what's something else that's thanks to Kevin is one of the participants, by the way, is some new missile launchers. So Kevin misunderstood the instructions and provided a big array of different missile launchers to use. So what I basically done is I have saved these down. And some other things. Yeah, missiles has happened. So let's just go through it bit by bit and not be too confused. But since I did cover that on the GMODISM channel, I feel that a lot of you have missed the beautiful missile models that Kevin provided, and those are also downloadable, by the way, on the Steam Workshop if you want them. They are at our page. In any case, I took the liberty of not doing important shit, but instead coding a breadboard thing to showcase them to you. So I'm thinking like this, let us showcase some cool missiles. And yes, this is the Army of GMODISM Tellum. It is a big arrow that, is meant to shoot down. It's an interceptor. This is one block, by the way. I didn't need to add anything. Just by being smart, I made this model. Now it is if you go to water. So the weather vane arrow, it's just that, as a mimic, of course. Then we have this beautiful thing. This is the, as you can see, why doesn't it say what it is? It's like they should have their names written, right? Okay, let's do like this. We are gonna load a prefab so we can see the names properly instead. So in the missiles section, sorry, we got the missile decopium. So this is the AOG KVN. So KVN is like for Kevin, you know, so we know who's actually designed them. So basically, Kevin misunderstood the instructions for the trial season 2 and basically made a platform with a lot of missile decos and a lot of different launchers. So yeah, I have categorized them. This is the Tesla EMP electronic warfare carrier. As you can see, I thought it looks like it carries some Tesla stuff at least, so it's very nice. Then we have this thing, which is the Fat Bastard Agile Heavy Payload. Here you have this thing. It looks pretty agile with the placement of the fins like that, and it's also pretty fat, so it obviously has some payload, my thinking. Then you have this thing, which definitely looks like a high speed. So yeah, I should also mention this. I did add to the models, or did some changes to some of the models. So, you know, I added some piece here and there, but it's mostly Kevin's work. Like for example, for some of the missiles, Kevin had an awesome idea to have like this little flame part added. So I actually added that for a lot of them. It's a emissive only deco. But yeah, this looks like a very, I don't know, space type of missile. Pretty fast, supersonic perhaps. As you can see, I did name it High Speed Projectile, Electronic Supersonic. So there is a good song that's called Electronic Supersonic. I'm not sure I can play it for you. I can probably give you a few seconds. His style is amazing.
Electronic, supersonic, supersonic.
Yeah, so if you didn't have any music recommendations for tonight, Electronic Supersonic, which is the last missile. Anyways, I'm thinking like this. We should just go through the different models a little bit quickly so you can see how they look like. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful designs, which is official part of the army of GMODISM now. So big thanks to Kevin for providing these missile models. Look at them. They just look so cool. And we have the like cruiser missile versions. Here we have a cluster version and even provided a closed variant of it. So the thing is, mid-flight you can unfortunately not change the missile deco, but before you launch them, you could make them have this model and then switch to the open model at launch. Unfortunately not after launch, but yeah. And here's a torpedo as well. I love this one. It looks like it's really evil and biting on your hull. Oh, and this is my model. This is the only model I made. I can't take a credit for the telem. It's just a block. But this one is my quote unquote design. Yeah, I also made it a little bit fatter than it usually is represented, just because I realized that looks a lot funny. Here's a more normal one. And then of course, Solid Pickle's winning missile deco. This missile deco looks so darn amazing. It is, it's insane. It's awesome. But yeah, we should probably do something like this so that you can see through the different variants here a little bit. Yeah, well, it's no good to browse on them. If you download them, you get an easy check. We have a few things that are really funny. X-Javelin Tachyon Drive Amphibious Projectile, because why not? Tomahawk Amphibious Ion Cruise Missile. Yeah. The thing I wanted to show you is what is it called? Where is it? Yes, the Rogue AI Terminal Re-Education Program Student Carrier. So if we browse a little bit here, we need to go to 0 and just go up. So oh no, it was not that one. This one. That is that. This is the Peacekeeper Rogue AI Terminal. So it's for rogue AIs. So you know that the AI is actually a brain in a box. If you didn't know that, check it. It's insane. So the rogue AI, and this is the terminal re-education program. So this re-education program is like terminating, so to say, the student. You know, it's you have to see the wordings here. So this is the terminal re-education program student carrier. It's basically a nice way to say involuntary kamikaze craft. It's not funny, but anyways, so that's that. I just wanted to give an awkward silence. On another note, Kevin calls this missile decopium, or yeah, it's basically missile copium, yeah, or something like that. I don't know these new gen words. Yeah, decopium. So it's a deco, but it's also cope. So this is decopium. I thought it was a really funny word. So that's what the missile decorator parts are called. Now I had my own bout of decopium, but instead launcher decopium. But before we look at that, I found an amazing detail. This is actually just a missile laser painter or a laser emitter. This is, you know, for controlling and steering the missiles. Now, Omicron provided a missile that basically won about nothing, but the AAM Viper had a nice detail. This thing. It wasn't actually used for anything, but I just realized that what if we like slap this deco on top of a missile laser pointer, and we kind of have that as a official type of deco skin for the laser pointer for the AOG. So I kind of just did that. I think this looks amazing. Good work on Omicron there. So now we can use it in other situations. It was a detail on its missile launcher that didn't win neither the aesthetical nor the performance challenges, but I just wanted to save this detail. So big thanks for Omicron providing that to the AOG via his submission. I don't know. I think it looks nice. And as said, I have my own bout of decopium. So here we have deco tube. Huge. So this is just a decorative launcher reskin basically, because the launcher looks like this in actuality. Then we also have a large one, which is basically the same like this, but like that. We have medium 4x4. So here we actually have armor covering it, and we can make this nice little missile tube. By the way, all of this has already been showcased on the GMODISM channel a good while ago. So if you haven't seen that, you should probably actually subscribe to the GMODISM channel as well. And here we have the light missile tubes using fleet colors, of course. And we have the small. So I really like this 4 tubes inside of a tube like this. And you need a surprising amount of decos to actually do this, if you didn't know that, but now you do. And here we have a light variant, which is of course very lightweight, just like this. Tubes with some attachment. And here we have for the singular missile, just a little thing like this. So we can kind of stack them on top of each other. And that's it for my launcher decopium. But anyways, beautiful missile models from Kevin there. And I'm pretty happy with my breadboard. Isn't this pretty cool that we can just swap them like this and showcase them? I thought I was smart when I made this. I'm probably not very, but well, it was good for me, at least. If I compare to myself, yeah. So this is the launchers we took from Kevin's platform, and I didn't know what to name them. We did the so it's really I don't know, it's a joke kind of, but the armor GMODISM, and because Kevin made them, we write in EV and then 1, that's like I, and then the last N, and N actually stands for number. So this could, you know, read Kev in. The last thing is 32. So this is basically a missile launcher that fires 32 missile, and it's an anti-air missile launcher, small one. Then we have the same metric. This is the number, the N in Kevin is 9, and this is a heavy anti-air battery. So we're using medium missiles here, 9 of them, to provide our damage. And lastly, we have the 1, because it is like a big cluster missile, and it's an anti-air system here. And they're also named how tall they need to be to fit wherever you place them, and yeah, what channel they're on, basically. So this is a big cluster missile, and these are offensive missiles, just laser designated. We're gonna check them in action later on. But what I also added here to my files, and the files are of course accessible to everyone in the army of GMODISM and of course the government of GMODISM nowadays. So we should say big thanks to Chancellor Super Dave in the government of GMODISM, and as of recording, the commissioned officers Admiral Dragon X62, Commander Benevolkian Delphin, Lieutenants Ali, Antok, Ravi, Flars, Dagan, Dennis, Kin, Owen, Parbakwid, Vincent Veritas, Volkite, Rick Prill, and Scoob Rock, and of course to all the cadets. But in any case, you can access these files in, you know, the downloadable files that you have access to. This is the Skull Sam by Solid Pickle, and here you can see the name. I did SLD Pickle. I just removed the vocals to kind of make a, I don't know, I kind of include the usernames in a nice way. TRK20 doesn't need that, but that's short enough to make it sound a part of the missile design, since the participants had the ability to actually name them just their own name. But if you go here and check the components, what I did for Solid Pickle's design, which is actually the aesthetical winner of the missiles, as you've seen in the missile models. And I just added some armor here on the part that will stick up, and this is like optional. So in the name you can see it's age 3 to 4. So that's basically underhull needs to be 4 or 3 blocks like that. But yeah, I added some armor all around it because you couldn't do that in the submission where I accepted them. But I also did another thing, which is pretty handy. So I realized that Solid Pickle's missile launcher had a little bit of an issue. Wherever is the breadboard now? Probably need to do like this, because there is a breadboard here. We got a breadboard, and I realized this breadboard actually accesses all-in-one local weapon controller and changes the all-in-one, like it changes any all-in-one local weapon controller's range of action. And you know, that's not good. So I changed it to basically be called this, because it was already called this. And I don't know exactly what this tag does. It's above my understanding of breadboard. But anyways, I didn't want this breadboard to affect any all-in-one local weapon controller. So I kind of added that little limitation and added the armor. And this thing, I didn't actually realize this during the tests, but this thing is crazy. It has animations for these hatches. Yeah, well, so we're gonna look at this little animation later. I didn't see this breadboard, honestly, when I did the tests, but we also, you know, had 9 different participants. So here we have some explanations animated with predetermined steps instead of using variables because of a visual glitch. So that is more than I know, but cool things. I'm gonna show it to you later. It looks amazing. Here we have the performance winner, which is the RB05, which is actually based on a Swedish model, Robot 5, Robot 5 anti-air by TRK. We have the sloped and the straight variant here. So that's very nice. And a lot of you also loved the missile deco model, wherever that originates there. So if we go here and you can see it actually has a lot of decos. I didn't realize it has that many decos, but yeah, we have triangle, and we have a really like strange choice. They're set to usually emissive only, and that's why they're shining so bright. They are basically glowing in the dark when we chosen the model emissive only for them. That's why they're so darn bright. Right. So these are prefabs, and prefabs has an issue where the Lua code doesn't get copied. So for the prefabs, I basically just did a stupid thing here and took this breadboard so that we can copy it and paste it. And like add it like that. So yeah, maybe not the best way to do it, but I suppose that works. Perhaps we can just remove this one. I'm not sure exactly what I'm doing, but yeah, something like that to make it functional. We could put it on a Subobject too, but that will be a later stage. TRK has talked about perhaps upgrading the code or something like that, so I'm hesitant to do it until we know for sure. Then we actually move over to the Subobjects section. And then we go here to missile, and we have the Subobjects. This is the Nix Ignis by Shieldcat, and you can see again the name Shield. I'd remove the vocals again here. And this is a 3x3 turret. 328 is basically the recommended range. So it is a turret. It looks like a prefab, but it is a turret. And this is actually the non-Lua winner. It's very efficient at dealing damage, so it is included in the official AOG files. I did some visual upgrades because it was kind of undecorated. So I added some decorations and paint to make it look pretty nice, I think. I mean, compared to no deco at all, I think it looks much better. But, you know, it's mostly there to provide very good firepower. The missiles look nice though. But now the launcher does too. Somewhat at least. So that has been updated as well. Then I actually decided to save down my version of, now we're in prefabs, let's see here. The GS4 Needle by GSM Narib. So I thought it was funny, N-R and then 18 IB Narib, you can see. The name is included, the NR18. I don't know, probably not smart, but that's what I thought was funny. Deck Launcher Mark II. So it was changed slightly. I added armor, you can see, to make it streamlined. if we go to weight mode, you can see how it looks like actually. So I added some armor there, and I just changed the colors on some decos and stuff. But other than that, it is the thing. And GSM Narib actually had really good results. They were not among the best, but they were darn close to the best. Almost like very similar results, honestly. Let me see here. I'll just check the stats here. So GSM Narib has could kill the enemy in 16 seconds, and third place Kevin killed the enemies in 15 seconds. So it's just a minute slower. Could be luck, you know. And the damage is 226, whereas Kevin got 235. So Kevin was the third place. So GSM Narib was so close at grabbing the third place. And the really cool thing about the launcher, not only did it look really amazing, our actually cadet made a really good cadet in the army of GMODISM, which is, you know, supporting us, made a really cool missile launcher, but it was also optimal to make a deck launcher of it. So this is obviously going to be placed as a deck launcher. If you want easy anti-air deck launchers, we have this. Why I also added the armor on it. So yeah, it does things now. Right, moving on to there, in Subobjects, now I'm in prefabs again. Why am I diving in prefabs? So, Floaternauts Skyfire, anti-air pop-up turret. It was a really cool pop-up turret. I really liked it for the aesthetical vibes it came with. So I went in here and upgraded the breadboard so that it actually extends to max length. So then we actually have a pop-up turret that is popping up a lot more than it previously did. So when we're spawning an enemy, you're gonna see this is gonna pop up. This is gonna straight pop up to max length, not just a few blocks, which it did previously. Now, Floaternauts' score was 20 minutes, so it wasn't bad. It wasn't just among the best, but we had some issues with these like clipping into each other. So I just paused the game. I kind of fixed that on the front. I may fix that on the back as well, but I don't know. It kind of looks a bit funny on the back, but it looked disturbing on the front. So I just warped them a little bit and added a green. Yeah, I just added a little piece of deco, nothing much. Then we had the aesthetical launcher. Why am I in prefabs again? Come on. All right. So the Kotobuki by Bub, you see BU8. So this is what I do. I use a lead speak to kind of embed names and kind of make the missile, like the launcher or the system, kind of sound official. So Bub is the maker, right? The Kotobuki by Bub, SM small missile anti-air launcher 3x3. So it's a 3 diameter turret and it needs 3 blocks downwards to fit. The original needed 4 blocks to fit, but it was mounted on a stone block in the air. So the only thing I did was make it more compact, basically. So yeah, this missile launcher looks absolutely amazing. As I'm sure you know, it's part of the loading screen pack if you want to get it. Right. So, you know, I think we should get into planes. And we are gonna spawn a few planes. and slow down time a bit. We need to look at the launch sequence there later. So we basically missed all action, you know what? So I just reloaded that a little bit for you. Right. So now we are... did we unpause? I don't know. Let's do it as full speed. Could you see that? There we have the beautiful animation. And here we had the pop-up as well. We're gonna look at that later on. There is the small launchers going up here, beautifully decoed and all. And this thing has launched. We're gonna check that in a moment. The Kotobuki is in action. So is the was it what was Floaternaut system? Skyfire? Yes. Just launching like that, beautifully accessing targets. And as does GSN Narib's GS4 launcher, aiming towards the enemy like that. And Shield Cat's Nyx Ignis is doing awesome work. I think we're taking fire. Let's reload again. There we go. So unpause. You can see this turret pops up and just starts shooting. Isn't that beautiful? This launcher has already launched into the air. And you can see this cluster missile, which is actually launched backwards, is now releasing a lot of small anti-air missiles, which are just going for decoy. But you get the drift. They're doing cool things. Some are remote guided and some are, yeah, they have different guidance. But that's basically the action of it. I don't know if you require to see more carnage. I think we're gonna die probably, but well. And these Lua missiles, they are extremely efficient. They completed the task in 7 minutes and TRK-20 was unhappy with the results. Absolutely crazy. Well, that's our missile systems. In any case, I hope this little showcase was interesting somehow. And if you're in the government of GMODISM or in the commissioned officers, if you're a commissioned officer, you can of course access them templates. If you are not, you can probably get all of them eventually if you just look at the Steam workshop and copy them from the vehicles I publish using these things. The missile decopium is available already, though, on the style board, the AOG style board, because of course it's official AOG deco. But other than that, I hope you enjoyed this little video, and if you did, you should definitely leave us a little like, and big thanks to all of you who participated in AOG Trials Season 2, giving us access to all of these super cool missile models and deco and all of these cool things. And I mean the code, ladies and gentlemen, that is used. Now that part was blown away, but anyway, TRK-20's missile launcher code is very long. It's also very efficient. So there is that. Yeah, and tune into our Discord as well for future challenges and stuff like that. In any case, this is your host Eric, and we are signing out. I'll see you next time. And if you want to join any of the support options, links in description. The ECCLESIARCHY, thanks to all of you two, your YouTube members, and you could probably see this video with early access. Well, see you next time. Eric signing out.